Hello, everybody. How we doing today? We are back with more Vancouver Blizzard draft-only franchise here. Another year we are in the playoffs, and just like we did last year, we're live streaming a playoff matchup against the Golden State Warriors. Last time it was in in round two. Now it's a first round matchup this time around after the Warriors made it through the play-in tournament, saving us a matchup against the Spurs, which I am very grateful for because that would have been a lot more of a competitive series. But the Warriors, I think we can handle with the state of their roster right now. At least I'm hoping that will be the case. They didn't give us much trouble last year, and I don't think they're much better this year. The one difference will be that they will have Pods healthy this year, who is their best player. How's it going, Johnny? I'm doing pretty good these days. All right. With that being said, there's not really much in the way, I think, of the introductions here. This is a team that we're familiar with. We played them last year. We're very familiar with our team at this point as well. I can quickly go through. I'm not making any sort of specific lineup change for this playoff series. I think kind of the lineup we've been going with for this year is perfectly fine to take on the Warriors. So we'll see how this goes. With that being said, I think we're ready for game one. Let's see kind of what happened around the league. So now I will say that it didn't save from the last time I exited off the game. So the teams that made it in the East, the 7 and the 8 seed, might be different from the end of last episode. But I made sure that the 7 and 8 seed from the end of last episode stayed the 7 and 8 seed in the West, because I knew what they were, but I couldn't remember who made it in the East, so I just let it resim. Tommy Williams, Jaden Ivey. So wait, Potts isn't even starting? That's an interesting decision by Golden State. They're going to have Potts come off the bench. I wonder if he has... One sec, I want to see something. Because does he have like the forced non-starter on him? I know some people have that. Where's that? I gotta get rid of my face cam. I probably won't actually have my face scan on a lot for this stream, just because it's mostly going to be gameplay. And so he does not have forced non-starter on. So despite the fact that he's 87 overall, they're just choosing to start Jaden Ivey. And hoping Pods can be kind of a really, really good sixth man. A la maybe a Manu Ginobili, who's definitely one of the 5 best players on the Spurs. He wasn't their best player, though. I think we go with the standard unis here for this game one action. And of course, we will mix it up as these games continue. But I think we're officially ready to kick off game one.
Western Conference begins.
Oh, shoot.
Vancouver enter the postseason with the best record in the conference. But now the stakes are higher. Will their dominance be tested as they go up against the Golden State Warriors? Round one, game one, the NBA playoffs coming up next.
There we go. Get a little bit of an announcement there. The last game I watched was of the Sonics, so I had the commentary on for it. Now I got to turn it back off for our Blizzard action here. That's always a nice little intro here into game one of the playoff series, and we are underway. I think this year the stakes the expectations all very high for the Blizzard. We're the 1 seed last year. Just barely missed it. We have to be the prohibitive favorites this year, and it's got to start with a strong, probably 4 or 5 game win against the Warriors. Hauled in by Saramago. Back to Ayrton here. He's got Ralph Terry, the best player Golden State has drafted so far here in the franchise series. He's an 84 overall, but I still think Ayrton should have a pretty good advantage. And he goes 2 for 2 from the line. Williams with it. Oh man, my voice just cracked. Ivy gets a screen from Trace Jackson Davis. No good on that triple. Going the other way are the Blizzard. Ellis trying to drive inside on Williams. Instead kicks it to Mago. Going downhill on Kuminga and just overpowers him, leaving him on the deck on his way to an easy layup. Kuminga with it in the corner, trying to set up something for Ralph Terry. He instead dishes it to Tommy Williams, and that's the first bucket on the board for the Warriors. We'll be handling this series fairly similarly to what we did last year when we'll watch roughly half of most of these quarters, and then obviously depends on, by the time we get to the fourth quarter, just how close the game is. Williams dishes to Terry. Kuminga now with the ball, trying to set up Jaden Ivey. Baseline jumper, catch and shoot, no good. And not an easy rebound to get. Jackson Davis did a nice job fighting, but Vancouver eventually comes up with it. Step back for Rudolph Garrett. He kind of struggled last year in the postseason. Looking for him to have a better postseason run. I think one of the things that could really swing us towards a dominant postseason run is if Rudolph Garrett can show a lot of improvement over what he did last year. Because if he could score fairly efficiently, then I think our offense will truly be unstoppable. The Golden State takes the early lead here. Mago showing off his moves early. He definitely had that nice layup, but he's kind of been settling for jumpers otherwise. Ellis, half spin into a pull-up from the mid-range is no good. I feel like he made that a little more difficult than he needed to be. Stolen away by Garrett. He tips it off of the hands of Ivy. Coast to coast with it, finds Mago inside. Pump fake, and he's headed to the line.
Second personal foul, second team foul.
2 for 2 for the MVP. He has all 6 on the board for the Blizzard early. Pick and roll the Warriors. Jackson Davis tried to get Graham to bite on the pump, and he just does not. Stuffed. Now the Blizzard going the other way. Mago, another jumper, and this one goes. How's it going, Bun Bun? Happy to have you here. Just barely getting started here with game 1. Ivy, defended by McKnight. Trying to get downhill, and he gets the whistle there. I'm not sure if I agree. Seemed like just good, solid defense to me, but Ivy Has a chance to pour in a couple of easy ones, and he hits them both. 9-7 here, 4 minutes into the ball game. Mago now has the A next to his Saramago because of his brother. I don't know if I've officially recognized that until just now. Michael Graham hits the catch and shoot triple. Kuminga wide open on the baseline. That's it. Warm-up jumper for one of their best players. Got to do a better job fighting through the screen. I don't know what's going on with my voice right now. It's been doing these little mini cracks consistently here. Ellis trying to sauce up Tommy Williams, but Williams staying home. Step back. That's not a good shot for Easy A. He's taking a couple of really tough jumpers. Needs to do a better job of finding good shots here. Kuminga. He gets past Rudolph Garrett down the lane. Slams it in, and it's been back and forth here in the first. Ready for the MLB The Show 25. I've been doing a little bit more research now on that. Still not 100% sure. Oh my goodness, Ayrton Saramago. All over Kuminga for the second time. He gets instant payback for what Kuminga just did to Garrett. As I was saying, though, I'm not 100% ready to commit to my MLB The Show franchise team just yet. Has not come out yet. It comes out in March. But I am very excited for that series. Last year with the Rockies was very fun. And I'm hoping we can have just as much fun, if not more, this time around. Is that a new mic? Yes, it is a new mic. I got a little bit of a new setup rocking here. I don't know if it sounds better or worse. I still probably can do a few things to tweak it to make it a little better. But did upgrade on my mic, and Saramago is at it again. It's a mic that I have to hold a lot closer to my face compared to my last one. My last one, if I held it too close to my face, it would clip a lot whenever I raise my voice. This one is kind of meant to be more close to my face. But still working through it. I've had it for the last few videos. Yeah, that's exactly why I got it, Bun Bun. Whenever I get excited with my last mic, it would get a lot worse. And the whole goal of this mic was to make it so it didn't sound so bad whenever I got excited. Rodman in the corner. No good. Rattles around and out. Probably after this possession, we'll skip ahead to the second quarter here. Williams for three. Drills it. So pretty back and forth here in the first quarter. Remains so here in simulation, and we'll start the second quarter. Vancouver will have a 5-point lead. Let's hop back in. Jordan Poole. He was a really dangerous player at times that last postseason matchup with the Golden State. Podziemski. He pulls up mid-range. A good defense by Max Christie to force the miss. Ellis. Dishes to Garrett. Now we're finding the big man in the post. That was a beautiful entry pass. Right where you want it for Michael Graham. Poole. Easy A on him. For 3. Leonard Miller with the rebound. And that was just an awful pass. That might be the easiest steal I've ever seen in 2K. Alan King is rejected. Ellis inside. Tough layup, but he got it to go. Seeing the field goals here. Holding the Warriors to 8 for 22 so far. That's pretty good defense. We're shooting just under 50% ourselves. Pods. Cristiano gets a screen. I almost pulled the trigger. I thought he should have. Said Golden State will need to come up with something here in the final section of the shot clock. It's going to be Ralph Terry with a brick, although it's kind of set up by his teammates there. Leonard Miller in transition. And just like that, it's a double-digit lead with an excellent start here to the second by Vancouver. Getting things to go in transition, which of course always starts with good defense. King. Such a massive small forward. He's wide open here with the shot clock winding down. And he gets the second quarter points in there for the Warriors. Garrett for 3. No good, but a nice shot selection there. The screens really gave him a ton of space. And Leonard Miller able to take it away from Pods. Christie in transition. Another one goes for the Blizzard. It's been the name of this second quarter. Defense into transition basketball. And that's what I love to see out of the Vancouver Blizzard. I think it's when we are at our best. It's really what I designed the team around, is the 7-second system.
Substitution for the Warriors. Number 18, Kyra Lewis.
Kyra Lewis checking in for the Warriors here and instantly gets hacked by Miller.
First personal foul. First team foul.
Alan King. Out to Kyra Lewis. Warriors trying to set up a screen for Podziemski. They left Alan King all alone, but Kyra Lewis didn't realize it. Now the Warriors end up getting a pretty good shot with 1 second left on the shot clock, but Ralph Terry cannot hit it. Christie sets a screen for Ellis. He waits full 2 seconds to use it and then misses on the layup. Kyra attacking downhill. Now forced to dribble it back out. Pass out to Ralph Terry, and that is going to be a miss. Graham with the lefty, no good. Looking forward to see this massive DT in the Browns opener. Is he starting? He is going to be splitting time. He's not going to be the full-time starter because obviously Daniel Gibson and Mike Hall both had insane years last year. But he's definitely going to have some playing time in our base package. That's the plan with him. And then obviously if there's an injury on our interior defensive line, he'll get playing time there. He's kind of the next man up. Ellis finds Leonard Miller. Excellent find, but Miller can't make the defense pay for leaving him alone. I have recorded the Browns opener, so I know there was obviously not going to spoil it here, but that episode should be coming out tomorrow. I just need to edit it. Ellis, he has a wide open layup. I don't know if he was trying to get the foul on top of it with that delayed release, but in the end, it's 2 points all the same. Warriors with it here. Sorry, reading chat. Podzemski, no good from 3. So those who are interested in the MLB series, what team do you all think I should use? I have a couple teams in mind. I've whittled it down, I think, to my final 3. Unless I'm forgetting a team right now that I'm interested in. But I'm interested to see if anybody has any preferences of a team I should use. Ellis, as always, 2 for 2 from the line. Bunbud says the White Sox. I did the White Sox in MLB as my draft-only franchise in MLB The Show 23. Or else they're a clear, heavy rebuild team right now that could use a draft-only rebuild. The teams I've done the Athletics in a non-draft-only franchise, and then I've done the Rockies and the White Sox in draft-only formats. And Ellis headed right back to the line.
Personal foul. Second team foul. Taking 2 shots.
That White Sox series was pretty fun. It wasn't nearly as good as the Rockies series. So if you watch the Rockies series before you watch the White Sox series, because I learned a lot from the White Sox series that I used to make the Rockies series a lot better.
Max Christie. Second personal foul. Second team foul.
Both these teams attacking the rim, getting to the free throw line. $11-point game here. It's been pretty much in that area ever since the first couple of minutes of the quarter. This will probably be the last possession we watch here, and we'll go until the next team makes a basket. How about that? Warriors. Inside to Trace Jackson Davis with the flush. That was a great pass because there was not a ton of space there. That's going to take us here to the half. We'll see if Golden State can trim the lead or if Vancouver can perhaps even extend it. And here you have it, 13 points heading into the third quarter. 26 points on the board for Saramago already. Jeez. I mean, we saw him have a great start, but he's been doing a ton of work. 4 of 5 from deep. Michael Graham is second in scoring. Ellis, 2 of 5, but he does already have 6 assists on the board. And McKnight with 4 on 2 of 3. That's what I was looking for. On the Golden State Warriors side of things, it's Tommy Williams that's led them in scoring. 5 of 6 from the field and all from deep for Tommy Williams. Let's go. Pods, 3 of 10. Not exactly having a great game. 0 of 4 for Ralph Terry. Do they have expansion teams in MLB? Not like they do in NBA. You don't do like an expansion draft or anything. You can put a custom team in if you want. But I usually just roll with a real team in that mode. After the pump fake, Tommy Williams hits a triple. And then I pick a team that has a pretty weak farm system, and I have those guys act as like pretty much my expansion players, right? And Rudolph Garrett's step back is no good. It's kind of like in Madden where you can put a fake team in, but you have to replace it with one of the existing teams, which is what I love so much about 2K. Is offers actual legit expansion, where those other games do not. Maga. Pick and roll with Graham. Pulling up from the mid-range, and he stays hot. Could we see a 50-piece from Maga? I would love to do the Giants. I love the Giants ballpark. And they do have a weak-ish, I should say, farm system. I don't know if I want to do the exact same division is my only concern. Because here's the thing that I learned from last year with the Rockies. I chose the Rockies because I'm like, this division is insane. But the problem with it, the best team in the division is the Dodgers. They're also kind of old, so by the time the Rockies were good, the Dodgers weren't good anymore. So I kind of want to be in a division where the team that's good is also really young. So that they're still good. Like, in our Rockies franchise, the best team in the league by the time we were good was the Braves. Right, because the Braves are a pretty young team. But I love the Giants as a pick because their ballpark is awesome. And I like a black and orange color scheme as well. Rudolph Garrett hits it from deep. Yeah, my only drawback on the Giants is the division is just the one I barely used last year. Well, that's not the biggest drawback, if I'm being honest. So the teams that I'm narrowing it down to, the Giants are one of them. As are the Miami Marlins, because I like their unis. And they have the Braves in their division. Mago gets another chance at it, and he drills it. And, what are the other teams? Somebody suggested the Pirates before. The only thing that I hesitate with the Pirates is I don't want to like just give away Paul Skeens because I'm doing a draft-only franchise. Can you show us Saramago's jump shot? Yes, Yusuf. If somebody reminds me after game one, I'll show you what Mago's jump shot is. I can't remember what it is. I know I've checked it out before. Terry, no good. Another team I was considering. Oh man, I can't remember it right now. I did my research on which team I could do like last week, and I've already kind of forgot which teams I was into. It was somebody in the same division as the Orioles, though, because the Orioles are another team that are really young and have some good players. That'll probably be a very good team by the time my draft-only team is good as well. I can't remember which team in that division I was thinking of. Mago gets a screen from Graham. No good from long distance. Mariners could be interesting. I haven't even really, I think, looked too deep into the Mariners. Mostly because I don't love their jerseys. And like with a draft-only franchise, you're not going to have like any of their players. So at that point, jerseys become a big factor. This is actually why I chose the White Sox in MLB The Show 23, because I loved their Southside jerseys. Giants have a good farm system. Yeah, I know. At least I haven't actually checked them out in this game, but I know last game they didn't have a lot of people that had good potential. Padres. Yeah, the Padres are too good, though. Because, like, the first thing you do in a draft-only rebuild is you tear apart the team. And I know they don't have, like, the playoff success to prove that they're too good, but I just feel like they still have, like, Tatis, who's might be my favorite player. Kuminga in the corner. Takes a screen and misfires. Ellis downhill gets fouled on his way to the basket.
Second personal foul, first team foul. At the line for 2, Ellis.
That was one of my favorite storylines in my Rockies franchise, was trading Nolan Jones to the Padres and then him just totally eviscerating us whenever we played them. I was like, of the early part of that series, that's probably the best, my favorite storyline at least. Well, things have been looking pretty good here in the third quarter for the first half. I think wait until somebody scores the first basket or scores the next basket, and then we'll hop into the fourth, see if there's really anything worth watching in the fourth. Rodman trying to set up Saramago in the post. Turnaround jumper, and my oh my, is Saramago having himself a very nice ball game here. We'll see what the difference is heading into the fourth. 22 points. Yeah, I don't think there's any reason to hop into this. We'll see if they... Oh my goodness! What is going on? We led by 22 points. What is going on? And what is that free throw? Bro's doing... There's no way we're choking away this fourth quarter, dude. McKnight just misses a point-blank shot. No excuse for missing that. Williams. Golden State could tie this game with a three-pointer here. And up top for Kuminga, it's a one-point ball game. What is wrong with this team? Mago gets a screen from deep, and that is a much needed basket. A's are a good team. I did them in MLB The Show 23. Mago. Foul on Golden State here. I was worried that was going to be an illegal screen. I can't believe we've been so bad in the fourth quarter. Inside to Graham, almost stolen away instead. We'll take the 2 points. Ivy. Defended by McKnight. Now it's Tommy Williams. 5 seconds left on the shot clock. He breaks the ankles of Albert Ellis. Tommy Williams. Ellis for three. Big time shots for Easy A. Getting revenge for getting crossed up last possession. Ivy. Trying to get by McKnight. Now it's a pick and roll. Williams again, this time from deep. This guy's 80 overall. How could we not stop him? Ellis was open for a moment, but decided not to fire. He'll fire off the screen instead. This time he cannot answer the Williams shot. Golden State once again with a chance to take the lead. Ivy. Hop step and blocked away by Greenlight McKnight. Ivy still has not made it down the court. Graham wide open for three. No good. Ivy injured on the play. I thought he was just trying to sell the foul, but he looks legitimately shaken up. Don't know exactly when it happened, but he needs help off the court here. Tommy Williams. Feeds it to Kuminga. Right back to him. Step back three. He hits it again. Tommy Williams having the game of his life down the stretch, cannot be stopped. Golden State leads. This would be a 20-point fourth quarter blown lead by Vancouver if we lose this game. It already is a 20-point fourth quarter blown lead. You cannot lose this ball game. Ellis, what is that shot? Stolen away by Saramago. McKnight in the corner, drills it. It will be a two. What a crazy end game. We somehow got to force the ball out of Tommy Williams' hands. Didn't think I'd ever have to say that sentence. One-point game, 21 seconds on the clock. Warriors, will they just play for the last shot here? Kuminga gets the call on the drive. He's headed to the free throw line. No good on the first free throw. That is massive. And he missed them both. He missed them both. Kuminga chokes it away. Oh my goodness. Ball don't lie. That was not a foul. And instead of giving it to Ellis, we give it to McKnight. Equally as good of a free throw shooter. First one is good. McKnight shows Kuminga how to shoot a free throw. 2 for 2. 3-point ball game. Ralph Cherry for the tie. No good. No good. And that should wrap up Game 1. The MVP chants are loud for the back-to-back most valuable player. How's it going, Daniel? And the difference down the stretch was free throws. Kuminga goes 0 for 2. We go 4 for 4. And despite blowing a 22-point lead, we do just enough in the final minute to pull out with a victory. What was that game? Absolute insanity for the Vancouver Blizzard. On the one hand, a championship level team does not blow a 22-point fourth quarter lead. But on the other, championship teams do enough in the final minutes to secure victories like that. It was Williams and Kuminga who led the charge. 2 for 2 for both Pods and Clowney as well. I mean, 1 of 6 for Ellis in the fourth quarter. He was awful. One of 3 for Rodman. So our point guards were 2 of 9 in the fourth quarter, and that allowed the Warriors back in it. But 42, 9, and 6 on 15 of 20 from the field and 6 of 8 from 3 from Saramago. This guy used to shoot more free throws. He doesn't... Feels like it's been a while since he's had like a double-digit free throw. Nobody else over 15. Ellis already talked about how it was awful in the fourth quarter. Just didn't have a good game overall. Almost had a double-double, though. Michael Graham did have a double-double. 5 of 10 for McKnight. 4 of 12 for Rodman. So our point guards just were really awful. So was Rudolph Garrett. Not a good start to his playoff run. Only 1 of 8. Meanwhile, Tommy Williams goes off for 30. I mean, what's this dude's career high? He's an 80 overall. For his career high is 35, so he almost had his career high in this game. Kuminga was also very good. Ralph Terry was bad. Jaden Ivey was bad. Alan King was bad for the Warriors. What a crazy game one. Now, per somebody's request, Ayrton Saramago has the Drew Eubanks bass, the Nemanja Bjelica upper release and normal release timing. That is your Ayrton Saramago jumper. Well, that was a pretty crazy game to start off the playoffs. Jeez. Elsewhere around the league, we have 2-0 Phoenix over Houston. Interesting. Sacramento over OKC, 2-0. Sacramento was the number 2 seed for most of the year. They just really sucked it up. So none of the series in the East are split. Everybody's 2-0. And only one series in the entire playoffs right now is split. Hoping to avoid us becoming the second. Let's do let's keep our whites, but let's have Golden State rock their statement unis, I think. No Sonics in the playoffs. They just missed it by a couple of games. I still have one more Sonics game, I think. Because I didn't show you guys... I haven't shown you their season stats or anything yet, right? So I still have one more Sonics game to upload. I kind of actually forgot about it, but I still have it. So I'll upload that maybe tomorrow as well. If not, Tuesday at the latest. It'll obviously be a little bit of a travel back in time, because that'll be... The last game I recorded was their game 82 of the regular season. Game 2. So last time we watched the first 6 minutes, excuse me, of every quarter. This time we're going to watch the last 6 minutes of every quarter. Thought it was a members only video. So I've been thinking about potentially doing some members only content. Just to incentivize some people. It wouldn't be anything super serious because I don't want people to feel like you have to be a member to enjoy my channel. But I've been thinking about stuff like that lately. So pretty low scoring here in the first half of the quarter. It's just 9-10. Rodman gets a screen from Mago. He's pulling up with a quick trigger. He was not very good in game 1. Terry misses as well in transition. McKnight. The ball here. Feeds it inside to MVP Ayrton Saramago, who's hitting that mid-range turnaround. He pretty much needed to be Superman for us in game 1. Nobody else really stood out. Hopefully he can get some more help here in the second game, although so far we're just 4 of 12, so I'm guessing he's not really getting that help. I think it's a pretty safe guess. McKnight's open on the cut, but nobody found him. He also had Ayrton Saramago wide open in the corner, and Clayton Rodman didn't find either of them. Christie no good on the jumper. Pods finds Williams. Coming off 31 points. Spinning and misfiring. And we're going to get a jump ball here. Got Tommy Hardy, I think, at 6'4" versus Andre Hardy at 7 feet. And no surprise there. The jump ball goes to the center. Mago, defended by Pods, turns around and tries to use glass. Tried to just beat the double team with that shot there. Probably rushed it a little bit. Golden State passing the ball around. Kuminga from deep, rattles it in. Golden State takes the lead here with 4 minutes remaining. Yeah, Hayward was really, really bad in spotlight games, unfortunately. I was hoping to get just like one good game of him in spotlight games, which I'm not going to spoil whether the next episode was a good game by him or not. He's really been struggling. Kuminga. Stymied by Greenline McKnight. Trace Jackson Davis, and no good. I don't know, Johnny. I don't know if I'd be so sure. McKnight, he misses. A pretty point-blank shot. Pods to Kuminga. Pick and roll. Kuminga downhill. Blocked away by Saramago. Playing some great help defense. Rodman. Wide open. Drills it. Slow starts on both sides here. Still just 14-15 as a couple minutes remain here on the first quarter clock. Pick and roll again for Golden State. Kuminga. He's had the ball for a while now, and he looks like he's going to pass it off last second to Tommy Williams. Max Christie on the boards. He's running it up the court. Mago Left alone from 3. Nice screen by Andre Hardy to free him up. Kuminga. He's got a nice look at 3. Unable to make the most of it. McKnight inside to Saramago, who will get to the line.
Personal foul, fifth team foul. At the line.
Kind of looking like it was last game to me right now. Looking like a whole lot of Saramago and not much else. Terry with it. He'll find a man. That's Finley. I don't know if he played in game 1. At least not in the minutes that we saw. He will attack Max Christie and use glass for 2. Was not in their rotation last year in the playoffs, that's for sure. Because I do not remember him at all. Very thick build on Finley there. And a bounce pass inside to Saramago. Get him a couple more free throws. I think Max Christie had a better lane to the basket than Saramago did there, but trying to get the MVP going is never a bad strategy. Alan King inside, defended by Hardy. He does enough to force the miss, but he can't grab the rebound, and this time he does with some help from Leonard Miller. Christie is going to give the ball to the ref as we got an illegal screen here.
Number 45, Dwight Cobb.
27 seconds remain here in the first. Not really enough time for the 2-for-1. So Golden State's going to wind down the clock here. Try to not allow Vancouver to score again prior to the second quarter. Step back, Alan King, no good. And it does leave enough time for Vancouver to come up with something in transition. Pull up for Christie, drills it. And that is a potential 4-point swing there at the end of the first quarter. 16-24 after 1. Vancouver on top. I don't like how they don't let me skip any of this in between quarter stuff. All right, here we go. Back to simming here as we start quarter 2. Halfway through here, we'll go a little bit further. And it looks like we have somebody on the free throw line for Vancouver. Or maybe not. 36-42. Ellis spinning and firing. That was a tough shot. And Trace Jackson Davis throws it down in transition. Miller all alone, just shoot it. Waited till the defense was there to contest it before he shot that. Hope Atlanta makes the finals. Just about to see, you want to see Esteban Gonzalez for a series? Ugh. He could cause us a lot of problems. 7'5". I'd probably be one of the teams, if not the team in the East, that has the best chance against us. Let's see if they make it. Ellis isolation. Guarded by Williams. He has just not been able to get by Williams at all when he's tried to. What is Williams' defense? B+, 6'4". That shouldn't be enough to totally stymie Albert Ellis, but Ellis has been pretty much a 0 against him whenever he's tried to drive on him. He didn't miss a shot in the first half. I think, didn't he miss some in the second, though? Can't remember. Williams, I think, might be the best 80 overall player in the league. And he's got that goofy free throw as well. Jeez. How's it going, Tyson? Happy to have you. 2-point game here. We have not been able to play up to our standards so far, it feels like. Shooting just 38% from the field. Potts with the lefts. Gets it to go with the foul as well. And he misses on the free throw. Rudolph spinning, and that's just an awful shot. Michael Graham can't hit the follow through either. Michael Graham's 2 of 7. Why is he even taking 7 shots if he's not hitting any of them? Feels like we missed an opportunity there. There were some players open. We just never found the right guy. Ellis, straight away, 3. There we go. Excited for MLB The Show 25. I am too. Should be a fun game. Williams. 4-3. I'm getting tired of this dude. I gotta be honest. I don't like his face. I feel like I need to update his look for him to be less annoying. Ellis on the inside, and that's a nice shot. Warriors playing good since the Jimmy trade. Yes, they are. Tommy Williams, the bane of our existence, misses on the baseline jumper. McKnight, no good on the fast break. I like that shot selection, though. Four-point game. Pick and roll. Jackson Davis and Williams. Williams, oh my goodness gracious. Why can't Clayton Rodman play like Tommy Williams? They're pretty much the same overall. McKnight. He's been missing a ton of inside shots in this series so far. Potts. We'll get free throws, and Golden State could take the lead here with under a minute remaining.
Shooting for Golden State. Wachowski taking 2 shots.
Still want to figure out a way to balance gameplay and player lock. I think it just kind of depends on what you're most invested in at the moment. Like, or what's kind of happening at the time. If somebody's on a super hot streak or a cold streak, or if there's a super exciting prospect, then focus a little bit more on player lock. But if it's more of like your team's on a roll, or your team's on a cold streak, or you're chasing something that or the other, then focus kind of on that aspect of it. Seasons take too long. Yeah, that's I think a problem for really any game, but especially like the NBA and the MLB games. It's figuring out how much to play versus how much to simp. But it's the formula that once you find the sweet spot, your enjoyment of your franchise modes and how long you'll stick with a singular franchise mode will really skyrocket. My advice, and I don't know if I've ever told you this specific advice before, but if you find yourself going like 5 years in a franchise mode and then kind of just giving up because you don't care a lot about the team, that means you're going too fast. If you find yourself in like year 2 or 3 kind of giving up and trying new franchises a bunch, then you're taking too much time. I'd kind of use that as a way to gauge until you find the sweet spot. I would always take too long because I'd always go like into year 1, 2, or 3 of a franchise and then just kind of get bored of that project and start a new one. And so I just had to reduce the amount of stuff I was watching or playing in the franchise mode. I still don't think I have it perfectly. There's sometimes I feel like I go too fast through a season, or sometimes I feel like I go too slow through a season. Into halftime here, Vancouver has a 1-point lead. Not really playing well. I feel like we're not taking good shots. Players are missing shots they should easily make, even when we do get some solid shots. It's just all around not been a good game for us. I mean, look at these. Albert Ellis is actually playing really well. Comparatively, at least. 2 of 6 for Saramago, 2 of 7 for Michael Graham, 1 of 6 for Rudolph Garrett, 0 of 3 for McKnight, 0 of 3 for Miller. I mean, hardly anybody's playing well. It's actually our point guards that are shooting better than anybody else on our team, and that was the opposite from last game. 0 of 8 for Alan King. We'll take that. Back into the simulation here we go. And we are all tied 69 apiece. Nice. 69 apiece here. Looks like the scoring's picked up a bit here in the third, which I like to see. But unfortunately, it's picked up on both sides. I've never tried the March to October mode. I've watched a couple of YouTube videos on it to get a little bit of a taste, but not enough to feel like get a true sense of what the mode is. Christie with it. Feeds it inside to Mago. He's going to take a turnaround jumper over Kuminga. Saramago up to 19 points. King almost got it stolen away on a dish to Podziemski, and one. Saramago was just a little bit late there. On the help defense. Odds completes the and one. Saramago takes a screen, has a good look at three. Nothing but net. Smooth jumper. Gets Saramago up over 20 points on the afternoon. Ralph Terry hands it off to Potts. Shot clock winding down for the Warriors. Potts drives and gets another foul call. Feels like he's getting all the calls he wants. It's the playoffs. You got to let him play a little bit. Can't be calling the soft stuff. No good for Rudolph Garrett. Mago running the point forward. I mean, he's always kind of played a little bit of the point forward, but we do have Clayton Rodman on the court. And that's an offset offensive 3-second violation.
Substitution on the court.
Albert Ellis checks back into the ball game here. As Mago comes out. This team has not looked good without Ayrton Saramago, with the exception of that 1 second quarter run. In game 1. Ralph Terry. Inside for Kuminga. How did that pass get through? How did none of those outstretched arms get a piece of that pass? Ellis. He's going to isolate on Kira Lewis. If he can't get past Kira Lewis, he's not even trying. There we go. Finally, he makes a move, but it took forever to do so. And Noah Clowney had the easiest block of his life. Clowney misses, hauled in by Michael Graham. McKnight, I don't know why he didn't just stay behind the three-point line. If you can't tell, I'm getting really annoyed with our shot and play selection right now. Because there's no excuse for us to be playing this poorly. Golden State's defense is not nearly good enough to excuse this poor offensive play. We should not. We should be destroying Golden State 4 consecutive games. Christie for 3. Finally. Get a good shot, and that's the result you get. Kuminga top of the key. He's got Cristiano. That's probably a mismatch in favor of Golden State. But Christie holds his ground. Lewis. Shoots over the top of Ellis. Saying good defensive possession there. Easy A. Gets open from the mid-range and pours in another tip. Kira Lewis gets freed up off this screen, and that's just an awful foul. If you're going to foul a dude, either foul him hard enough that you're not going to give up an easy layup like that, or just don't foul him at all. Christie hands it off to Leonard Miller. Easy A with 7 seconds left on the shot clock. Trying to set up a Leonard Miller 3, but he didn't take it. You got to take that shot if you're Leonard Miller. We don't have enough time to run anything else. What is going on with these offensive plays, man? Our players are just not playing smart at all. No good on the second free throw. Albert Ellis hands it off to Leonard Miller. And again, we're 5 seconds in the shot clock. We literally have not generated any looks at all. What is this offense doing right now? Pick and roll. Christie for 3. There we go. Seven of 21. Both teams shooting 33% from beyond the arc. Somehow gets by the arms of Leonard Miller. And Golden State gets a second chance. We're going to be tied heading into the fourth quarter. Somehow. With the Golden State Warriors, who were either the 9 or the 10 seed. In the regular season, we were the 1, and we just, for some reason, cannot outplay this team. See what happens here in the fourth, though. Last game in the fourth quarter was an atrocious quarter for us. But this time looks like we have a pretty good start. In fact, we have a really good start. Got an 8-point lead here with under 6 minutes to remain. Snap 39. Yeah, he's still pretty good. He's like a 90 overall. He made all NBA this year, if I remember right. Ellis. Guarded by Alan King, and what a layup by Albert Ellis, getting over the much taller defender there. Drawing a foul while doing it. Makes it a double-digit game here. My nose is starting to get stuffy already. I need to, like, research why I get a stuffy nose every time I stream. Because it's really annoying, I gotta be honest. Stolen away by Cameron McKnight. Ellis for 3, hits it. That's 6 consecutive for Easy A. I'm glad he's had a much better game here in game 2. Step back, and a couple of pump fakes for Trace Jackson Davis. Potts. 6 seconds left on the shot clock. He swings it over to Kuminga. The miss is hauled in by Greenlight McKnight. I don't think that scoring drought is actually accurate. Whenever you head into Simcast, it says some inaccurate things. Tommy Williams to Davis, out to King now. He's defended by McKnight. By Mago. Williams for 3, and he hits another one. McKnight with it. He's going to try to set up Rudolph Garrett. He pulls up in the mid-range, hauled in by Garrett, who gets the follow-up shot to go. Tommy Williams with it. Looks like he's trying to set up Kuminga in the post, but against Mago, I'm not sure that's something I'd be trying to do myself. Gets a much better look from 3, though, and drills it. 10-point game. 3.5 remain. As long as Vancouver takes care of the ball and plays solid defense, they should be able to come away with another victory. From mid-range, and a miss by Mago. Potts, pick and roll. And blocked by McKnight on the jumper. What a play defensively. Ellis with it now. He gets a screen from Graham. Plenty of space for 3, but cannot hit it. Kuminga blocked again. This time, Graham with the block. Not doing much offensively here in the last couple of minutes, but the defense has been stellar. And Garrett, there we go. Nice job at sacking downhill. Had a better game here in game 2. Into double digits. He's hit a few 3s, which has certainly helped. I feel like most of his production has come when we've been in Simcast, though, because I can't remember him doing too much. Kuminga. He will draw the foul on Mago, I suppose. Not sure if I agree. Thought he just forced up a bad shot. $100 to $110 as we will pass the 2-minute mark in this possession. Had some nice blocks. Ellis. Hop step with the right, misses. That would have been a sweet drive. But again, Tommy Williams is just bothering Albert Ellis. Luckily for us, the defense has been locked down. Kuminga trying to get past Saramago, not going to happen. Instead, he'll set a screen for Williams, but Ellis sticks right in his hip pocket. Williams pulls up for three anyway, and finally he misses. Didn't know he was capable of doing that in the final 2 minutes of the game. Mago sets up Graham in the post. He's got a point guard on him, and he gets to the line.
Second personal foul. At the line for 2.
No good on the first free throw. Got a little bit of a funky free throw. And he goes 0 for 2. Come on. Can't be pulling a Kuminga. Pods. No good from 3, and that miss really, really hurts Golden State's chances. Garrett for 3. I don't know why we're not taking up more shot clock. There's no sense in shooting before like 5 seconds in the shot clock at this point in the game. Kuminga flushes the lob. Let's run the shot clock down here. No need to do anything funny. Mago drives against Kuminga. A couple of free throws upcoming for the MVP. Game 2 pretty much in hand at this point, as the lead right back up to 10. Defense carried the weight here in the final few minutes of Game 2 and did enough to extend the Vancouver lead to 2-0 here in round 1. As the fourth quarter clock winds to a close, 112 to 102 is your final. Both these games ended up being a little closer than I would have liked. I mean, we had it in hand for the most part down the stretch of this fourth quarter. But the first 3 quarters, I mean, we were tied going into the fourth quarter of this game. 1 for 6 only for McKnight in this game. He was not very good. Has Leonard Miller made a shot in the playoffs? Oh, yeah, he was 4 of 7. Who was... I thought he was 0 for last game. Right? It was somebody else that was 0 for. Garrett, 3 for 12. So he's now 4 for 20 in the playoffs so far. It's pretty rough, I must admit. All right. I need to go get some tissues. I will start Game 3, but I will not be here to commentate for the first little portion of this game because I will be going to get some tissues to blow my nose. So we'll get this game started real quick first. B- home court advantage. So both teams have pretty similar home court advantages here. And I will be back. Enjoy the first minute or so of this game commentary free. Oh my goodness. Jonathan Kuminga with a massive slam. Just got back. All right, a little bit of trivia. I'm going to guess the person who made the three was Greenlight McKnight. Oh, it was Ayrton Saramago. That was obviously, should have been my guess. Just trying to get a little fancy. Mago in the post. Gets doubled, finds a wide open Ellis, and he misses. But Graham gives us a second chance opportunity. Ellis blows by his man and gets the and one. What a move by Easy A. I mean, the initial behind the back, the burst, and then the finish. Just an excellent play. King in the baseline. Miss. East is about to be 4 sweeps. I feel like in real life the first round can often be kind of like that. Where unless you get a good 4 or 5 matchup, I feel like a lot of times round 1 is really lopsided. Sometimes you get a good 3-6 as well. Split the first 2 free throws and goes 2 for 3 in the end. King finds Kuminga. Pod's now with it. Screen from Kuminga and no good. It had a great look from the mid-range. Couldn't convert it. Ellis now. That was a little bit of a weird screen by Saramago. Didn't really do much. Mago now isolating. 7 seconds left. What's he going to do? He's just going to pull up for 3, and that's all he needs to do. 11-4 early lead for the Blizzard. Lopero, how's it going, man? The game's closer than I would have liked. Game 1, the Blizzard had a 22-point lead in the 4th quarter that the Warriors came all the way back, took a 1-point lead, but then we ultimately won. So that game was really close. And then Game 2, it was tied going into the 4th, but then we kind of started to build the lead there in the 4th quarter, and now we're just starting here in Game 3. Williams inside, gets the foul on Graham. He's headed to the line. So far, been a little bit closer of a series than I had anticipated. I thought, honestly, we wouldn't be watching much of the 4th quarters of these games, but both 4th quarters have been very much worth watching so far. Hopefully here in Game 3, though, we can blow them out nice and good. Mago gets a screen. Goes up with the left, and that just hung up on the rim about as long as it could before falling out. Williams all alone. Too strong. McKnight with the ball. We've got a mismatch in the post with Saramago. Double comes. He finds Albert Ellis all alone for 3. He's hoping for a chill series. I mean, there's still a possibility of a sweep. Mago's been playing well. Game 1, he scored 42 and was pretty much our only player that performed well. Game 2, he scored 32. So he's been doing his usual MVP things. He's been clutch down the stretch. Who do I have to pay to get Ellis an All-Star / All-NBA appearance? Yeah, he definitely has the assists to get there. I think he just needs a bigger role in the offense. unfortunately, like, I'll show you guys what I have as the touches tendencies. I don't know how much I can do to get him more points on the board, because he's not going to have enough rebounds to really get considered there. So he needs to be scoring in the 20s. Kuminga. Yeah, I feel like we used to be able to blow people out, but lately we just lost the ability to. McKnight. I do not like the shots McKnight has been taking inside in this series. He's been missing pretty much all of them. And, like, what is the point of taking that shot if you're Greenland McKnight? As long as... I don't even think it's necessarily Mago. I think... Because... I think the problem is Ellis always has shares minutes with Rudolph Garrett, and Rudolph Garrett is going to take a decent amount of shots. It's for the content. Team has to make the YouTube vids interesting. Yeah, I mean, game one was really fun to watch down the stretch. I hated that we blew a 20-point lead, but those last 4 minutes were awesome to watch. So, I mean, there was that. In fact, I would recommend at some point going back and watching game one. The last 4 minutes that we watched. But, I wouldn't mind, you know, a good, hey, we watched 3/4 of this game and then it's locked up. But back to what I was saying, I think it's mostly because our 3 and 4 players, and even I think Graham has started to shoot more as well. Like, we don't have a team that funnels like all their shots through 2 players, because you can have 2 players score 25 points a game if you don't have anybody else scoring over like 12 or 13, you know what I mean? We just don't have that. We have 4 or 5 guys who could all easily get 15 plus any given night. That's not including like Clayton Rodman or Max Christie or Leonard Miller, who could come off the bench and get 15 when they want to, probably. Crazy how Mago isn't he? Yeah, dude, the dude's 23 years old. And he's already won 2 MVPs. If we end up winning the championship this year and that's the end of the series, I got to find a way to make sure we still document very well what Saramago does in his career, because he's off to a really special start to his career. And if he stays on like really good teams throughout his career and wins enough championship, he 100%, yeah, definitely has GOAT potential based on how he has started his career. I mean, he's already a 99 overall. Mago takes a Hardy screen and misfires. Anything's better than watching Duren hoist game-losing threes. Yeah, that was really, really frustrating back in the early days of the series. By the end, I thought Duren was really good for the squad. It's just, I don't think he was 30+ million a year good. And I think Michael Graham's been pretty solid in his place, especially this season when he's been more comfortable shooting from 3. I think that's helped us. Well, I want to do a little bit more than that, Johnny. I want to follow his career a little bit more closely than just see where he ends up all time. I've got an idea, at least not a fully fledged idea, but I've got kind of an outline of idea of what I want the long-term sim to look like. It's spoiler alert, it's mostly going to be following the career of Ayrton Saramago more than anything else. Because when you have a guy that has the potential to be as special as him, you gotta see what all he's able to accomplish. And no, how do we not pull in that rebound? Nice job fighting there by Kuminga. Great effort play there. We've also watched like the first 9 minutes of this first quarter without me even realizing it. So I think we head into some simulation now. I think we're going to sim to about somewhere around here. Golden State, once again, man. We cannot seem to find a way to really build any sort of momentum against this team. Especially when Ayrton Saramago's not on the court. Like, I don't know. Like, Albert Ellis is better than anybody on Golden State. Greenlight McKnight's better than anybody on Golden State. So I don't know why we're so heavily reliant on Saramago. Obviously, we always are reliant on Ayrton Saramago. But whenever he's off the court, this team has just been awful. Ellis. Can he finally get something going in isolation against Tommy Williams? There's a good drive. There you go. I don't know why he hasn't been able to do that pretty much every time he isolates on him. But great body control, great concentration. And he gets the three-point play complete there. Kuminga matched up in the post against Leonard Miller, and he gets the cheesy foul animation. 22 points on the board for Kuminga already. Jeez. Ellis. Easy basket. Ties us up. Kuminga's been balling tonight. I knew he was playing well. I know he was playing that well. Potts for three. Gives Golden State back the lead. Ellis. And he misses. The reason I'm saying awful instead of just not spectacular, like, you got to put it in context here. We've either been like losing or keeping pace with the team that was either the 9th or the 10th seed, I think, heading into the postseason. So me, that's pretty bad for a team that's trying to win the title this year. But Ellis, he's going off a bit. He's trying to bring us back in on top in this game. Probably the best stretch we've seen him play so far in this stream. King sets up a Tommy Williams three, but great job fighting through the screen by Easy A. Williams probably having his worst game. 2 of 7 so far. Garrett, deep three. He continues to really struggle. It's blocked away by Alan King. Ellis unable to find any wiggle room on that try. And now the Warriors lead by 3. Vancouver will take a timeout. There's a legitimate possibility that I need to reduce Rudolph Garrett's minutes if he's going to continue to play this poorly. I might need to reduce his role. Saramago. He drills the three. Especially because he's taken a lot of shots away from guys like Ellis and Mago who are playing better. You know, normally I'd put McKnight in that category, but he hasn't been all that impressive in this series yet either. Alan King, open for three, and he answers that Mago three right back. Mago backing down. Kuminga turns around and shoots, and he's had a couple of those where it's just barely missed. Potts blocked by Michael Graham, hauled in by McKnight. And that's just an awful pass. Pods in transition, gets the and one. Come on, McKnight. That was a really bad sequence by Greenlight McKnight, who again just has not really had a good round one. Mago, top of the key. He's going to attack Kuminga. Kuminga doing a nice job, though, holding his own. We'll run a pick and roll here. 5 seconds left. Albert Ellis all by his lonesome. Can't hit it, but how does Michael Graham not get that to go? There was no defense there, and he's once again 2 for 7. Both of our second-year players are not playing well, at least when it comes to scoring. Michael Graham's obviously doing his work on the board still, which will always be appreciated. And he also found Saramago there with a nice pass. But scoring is kind of what Rudolph Garrett does, and he just has not done it at all. What a block by McKnight. All right, that makes up a little bit. 57-53. We will trail by 3 heading into the half. What is going on with the Vancouver Blizzard here in round 1? You can't play down to your competition. And that's really what we've been doing. Yeah, at least King could at least be a tight end. Although we have the tight end position pretty well established with the Browns now that we drafted Njoku's replacement. Let's go ahead and take a look here at the halftime stats. 22 on the board for Kuminga, 8 for 10, including 4 of 5 from deep. Just 2 of 4 from the free throw line, though. Pods also playing pretty well. We're finally holding Tommy Williams to what a normal 80 overall player does. Saramago, 22 points on 50% from the field, 8 rebounds. Albert Ellis, 13 on 5 of 12. I mean, 2 of 5 is not terrible for Graham, but I feel like he does better in the simcast than when we're actually watching. But 6, 5, and 4, okay, I got to give Rudolph Garrett some credit for that. That's pretty well-rounded half. 2 of 7 for Graham at half for the second consecutive game. Sometimes you get a notion of how a player's playing based on the eye test, but then you look at the box score and realize he's playing better. So 6, 5, and 4 I'll definitely take at the half for Graham. Sorry for Garrett. King. This is out to Tommy Williams. Bit of pick and roll action, and Saramago with the steal. Pushes the ball ahead to Garrett. Wide open 3 is a miss. I mean, I would have loved for him to go to the basket there. King. Catch and shoot. Drills it. Nothing but net. Extending the Golden State Warrior lead. Mago. Out to Ellis. That's a deep three, and he responds with a triple of his own. Make that 16 points on the board for Easy A. And almost stolen away by Ellis. Instead, Williams misses. And the rebound goes to Garrett with some help from Albert Ellis. Mago inside. Did that get blocked? That was either a block or he just had a really bad miss there, but in the end, he got the offensive rebound on the putback. You don't see Ayrton Saramago get blocked very often. That's why I was surprised. Pods. Inside to Jackson Davis with the flush. All over Michael Graham. Maga wide open for three. That's one of my favorite plays in the playbook. Just have your center set a pretty illegal screen on the power forward, but that never gets called in the game. Kuminga. This is out to King. Back to Kuminga. He was excellent in the first half, but that was not a very easy shot. Graham. Bringing it up the court for the Blizzard. Mago now. He's attacking downhill with the left. Misses. Put back, also a miss. Third time's the charm. He's headed to the line. Kuminga is playing him really physical inside. Gotta respect it. And Mago's just out here padding those rebound stats, already up to 11 on the night. After getting like 3 or 4 offensive rebounds in the last 2 possessions. And Cooper retakes the lead here. A couple minutes here into the third quarter. King to inbound for Golden State. Pods with it. Has McKnight defending. This is out to Alan King. Tommy Williams. Beyond the arc and rattles around and out. Saramaga. Out to Easy A. Ellis steps back, pulls the trigger deep. 3-point range. Somehow put too much on it. Pods. Feeds Kuminga on the inside. Doesn't look like much of a post mismatch to me. Kuminga eventually just feeds it back outside, and Golden State's no good on that possession. Never really got anything going. Maga gets doubled, finds the wide open Albert Ellis, catch and shoots. Catch and make. King, right back to Kuminga. Now he gets a screen. Attacking off the baseline. Great defense there by Saramaga. Did not give him much of a shooting window at all. McKnight, he pulls up for 3. He always just looks not super comfortable when he pulls up for 3 off of the right side. He looks comfortable when he does it off the left. But not on that right side, as Tommy Williams will hit that shot. It looked like a miss initially, but he's got that shooter's touch. Two-point ball game here, just under 5 minutes into the second half. Maga. Kuminga on him, hands it off to Rudolph Garrett. Now a pick and roll from the corner. Christie unable to get by Pods. Saramago needs to come up with something here. And it's blocked away by Kuminga. I think Mago was just trying to draw some sort of foul there. But instead, Kuminga makes a great play defensively. Golden State can tie or take the lead. Pick and roll. Podziemski finds Trace Jackson Davis. We are tied at 66 apiece. Next make here, and we'll probably jump ahead. Saramago pulls up, and he gets that make. 31 on the board already for Ayrton Saramago. Let's go ahead and get to the fourth quarter now. We need a sweep. I would certainly love a sweep, especially because there's a good chance that the other series will end early. Most series here in the first round are not all that competitive. We've built ourselves a nice little 12-point lead here. So we were awful in game 1 in the fourth quarter, but we've actually been pretty good in the fourth quarter of games 2 and 3. Let's see if we can do enough to really seal away this victory. McKnight has it on the wing. He dishes to Garrett. He fires for 3. Did not have a ton of space there. Would have loved to find a better shot on that possession. Tommy Williams, no good, but Ralph Terry comes flying in for the rebound. Offense has looked a bit better here in this game. 100 points already on the board with 5 minutes remaining. Saramago drills a triple. He was left all by his lonesome. Defenses certainly don't want to get in the habit of doing that. Just 1 point away from his second 40-point performance of this series. Kuminga. Blocked away by Michael Graham. Rudolph Garrett finds Saramago for the 40-piece. No good. Garrett has been terrible this series. It's been really sad to see because I love Rudolph Garrett, but it's been hard to excuse how bad he's been in the playoffs. Even dating back to last year, he was not very good. Mago. Another 3. He's just turned it into a 3-point shooter. I'd like to see him attack downhill a little bit more here. Starting 5 is too young and talented to never win a chip. Yeah, that's certainly the case. I don't know how long I'm going to be able to keep them together is really the big question here. Because we have to pay Albert Ellis this summer, which is going to be an easy decision. And again, what is McKnight doing with these shots inside? He just needs to stop taking them. Just honestly, at this point, I prefer if he sits at the 3-point line for the rest of round 1. But then the next offseason, both, we'll get one more season after that, and then both Rudolph Garrett and Michael Graham will be up for contract, and I think at that point we're not going to be able to pay everybody. So he's probably got 2 years after this of the team being together. So that's really our window, at least with this core. I think as long as we have Ellis, Mago, and McKnight, we'll be able to make things work with that big 3. I got to change this guy's free throw. Because there's no sense for a guy who's like an A+ 3-point shooter to have that as his free throw. Mago. Can we get dude anything other than a 3-pointer right now, please? Because he's can't seem to make one. Pods. Too strong on the 3. Still leading by 12, though. Vancouver taking care of business here in the 4th. And Mago tries to get his teammate going, but Garrett just could not hit the broadside of a barn right now, and that's officially 40 points on the board. As Golden State calls timeout here, I'm pretty sure we have this game well in hand. 14 points with 2.5 minutes remaining. 115-97 will be your final score in Game 3. Kuminga drops a 30-piece on us. 12 of 19 from the field, but we did a much better job in the second half keeping him under wraps. He was 8 of 10 at half. So just 4 of 9, which isn't bad by any means, but better than the 8 of 10 he was at half. Clowney wasn't very good. Terry's just been not great. I mean, 4 of 7 in Game 2 wasn't bad. 4 of 13 for Tommy Williams, so he's kind of come down to earth here. 46, 22 and 5 for Saramago in this game. Jeez, man. 10 offensive rebounds. Ellis drops 25. He shot over 50% from the field. We don't actually see him do that all that much. A little bit below average assist-wise, but I'm fine with that. Michael Graham, another double-double. Cameron McKnight, 3 of 13. What's happened to Cameron McKnight? He's 5 of 10 in the first game. Not bad, but 1 of 6 into 3 of 13. Rudolph Garrett's 1 of 8, 3 of 12. So he's 4 of 20. Now he's 6 of 29 in this series. That's barely shooting above 20% in 3 games. And it's not, he's taking 9, 12, and 8 shots a game. It's too many shots per game to be shooting that poorly. Unfortunately. Still, though, I think, we're 3-0, so I don't see the reason to reduce his role. If we were losing games and he was playing that poorly, I would probably at least reduce his role, if not consider benching him. But the fact that we're 3-0, despite his struggles, I think we can go ahead and go now for the sweep. We're going to be rocking the statement unis here for game number 4. On the road here, trying to sweep the Golden State Warriors, who've played us tougher than expected, but Vancouver's found a way to come out on top in each of these first 3 outings. Screw the gentleman's sweep. We want the standard sweep here. Going against a B- home crowd here. Once more, just like it was in Game 3. Let's go ahead and close these boys out, shall we? I don't know if anybody's opposed. Mago, he gets it stolen away by King, whose initial steal attempt didn't come up with anything, so I don't even know how he actually got the steal there. Saramago literally just handed him the ball practically. McKnight in the corner. Can we get him going in Game 4? We'd love him to get a game where he gets hot before we head into the second round. Bricked by EZA. Not a great start in our first 2 offensive possessions. Williams trying to drive in on Rudolph Garrett. Garrett's got a pretty massive size advantage, I'd say. 1 second left. Tommy Williams just forced to chuck it up, and skying in for the rebound is McKnight. Garrett, good look from deep, and that's another man that I wouldn't mind getting going prior to round 2. Williams to Podziemski. He's driving in, spinning, and just missing on the layup. Mago. To Ellis. Trying to drive in on Jackson Davis. Instead, he feeds the big man inside. Graham hits the turnaround jumper. More of a turnaround hook than a jumper, but it's a tomato. Williams inside to Kuminga. Nice pass, but Saramago showed some nice recovery defense there. But Kuminga battling down in the post on the rebounds against one of the best rebounders in all of basketball. He's had a few really nice hustle plays these last couple games. Williams banks it in for the easy deuce. You love these black jerseys. I like them too a lot. I wish the waistband line. Hey, we got 2 quick threes for Rudolph Garrett. We'll take that. I wish the waist band would connect on the back, but no matter what I do, I can't get it to connect. But other than that, I really like these black jerseys. In the corner, Kuminga has it. Trying to set up a Allen King 3. Seti hands it off to Trace Jackson Davis. Tommy Williams now gets a bailout call there. I don't know how you call that a foul. That's just an awful shot. Tommy Williams goes 2 for 2. I forgot to change his free throw. I really need to. That free throw should be reserved for people who aren't very good at shooting. Garrett, can he hit 3 early threes? No good this time, but Graham on the rebound. And with the flush. Taking it up strong. It's been both of our second-year players so far who have, as I had mentioned just maybe 10 minutes ago, both kind of been struggling. They've scored all 10 of our points so far. Potts inside. Dishes it to Davis. He needs to put something up with just a second left, and Graham, nice defense and a rebound there. Saramago, he flushes it home. Showed a lot of that in game 1, but haven't really seen it since. Glad to see him attack strong on the drive here. Potts headed to the free throw line here after a McKnight foul. He will miss the second free throw there. Ellis all alone hits the 3, turning a missed free throw into a 3-pointer. Matter of just a couple of seconds, and Vancouver jumps out to an early 10-point lead. Our best start of round 1 so far. Kuminga has space to fire, but Graham does an excellent job on the glass after the miss. Taking it up the court now. We'll find Rudolph Garrett. Mago. Isolating against Kuminga. Can we get another poster? Instead, it'll be a Mago 3 just off the mark. And it seemed about halfway down the barrel before it popped back up. Up top for Trace Jackson Davis. What a slam. All on top of his man. I mean, that was a perfect pass as well. Thanks, T-Lighting. Certainly no plans on stopping anytime soon. Excited. I already have my next MLB, my next football, and my next basketball series planned. So no time soon will we be stopping. Oh my goodness, McKnight could not have gotten an easier look at 3. Williams on the other end makes the most of his opportunity. Christie, wide open shot. He's been pretty quiet. I haven't heard much from Max Christie so far. Any hints on what the next? It's going to be another draft only, unless between now and the start of it, I come up with a different idea. I just meant So I like already know kind of what uniforms I want and what team I want. Well, who knows? Maybe I'll come up with an idea, or somebody will give me an idea between now and then, and we'll do something other than a draft-only franchise. I really like the draft-only franchise. I think it makes my my channel a little bit unique. You know, there's a lot of people that'll do draft-only rebuilds, like the one-off episodes, but not a lot of channels out there doing draft-only long-term franchises. And I think probably my biggest strength as a franchise player is my drafting ability more than probably anything else. So it helps accentuate that. Pods. No good on the late shot clock eve. Not that drafting is super hard in all these games. In MLB The Show, it can be very difficult to draft well. Saramago. At the line for 2 here. He hits them both. I've thought about like variants other than draft only franchises to do like different kind of rebuilds, and I've tried them when it comes to Madden. I haven't really tried them in NBA 2K yet, mostly because I've really liked the draft only rebuilds on 2K. Adds a level of difficulty, like Johnny's saying. I always like added levels of difficulty, because I feel like in general it's too easy to build super OP teams in franchise mode. And even with draft only, I mean, this Vancouver team we have is pretty loaded. It could be even more loaded if it wasn't for the draft only restrictions, especially like our bench could be a whole lot better if I wasn't restricted by draft only. But I do like the challenge. It also helps because for me, if I don't create restrictions for myself, it's really hard for me not to build a championship level team and by like year 3 in franchise mode if I don't do something to kind of restrict myself. And I like my rebuilds to take longer than 3 years for the most part, so. How's it going, Wooski? Stolen away by Max Christie. And in transition, Saramago pulls up for 2, averaging 40 points per game so far in the first round. Well, it's Williams' free throw. I'm pretty sure it's Jeremy Sohan. The same one that Archie Bernard has. Williams to the basket. Yeah, draft only, yeah, I agree. Draft only does get harder once you stop getting like the top 5 picks. And especially once your team starts to get expensive. Nice shot there. Through the foul. So what's about to happen in Vancouver in the next few off seasons? Next offseason, Albert Ellis is going to get paid. Which at that point, things get very interesting in terms of how Vancouver will build. Because at that point, you're going to be over the cap. Once you're paying McKnight and Saramago and Ellis, you're really going to start being restricted. So at that point, oh my, what a block by Ayrton Saramago. At that point, and then the finish in transition, that was a beautiful sequence, man. The block into the flush, I love that. Yeah, you have to start finding value players. Like, for example, Leonard Miller and Max Christie, I feel like are fairly similar in terms of how much impact they have on us. Leonard Miller asked for about $6.5 million a year, and Max Christie asked for like 15. So all of a sudden, a guy like Max Christie, you probably can't afford, and you need to replace him with somebody who will ask for like $6.5 million a year, like Leonard Miller does. And so that's when it starts to get more interesting in terms of, okay, you have your core 3 or 4 players, but what are you going to do around them? When is Thiago Saramago going to start getting minutes? I think if he has a good offseason and develops a little bit, then probably next year he'll get some minutes, especially if we end up having to replace Max Christie. I could see that being the case. Just 2 of 6 early here for Saramago. Hasn't been his best start, but it's been our best start, which is kind of ironic. Kyra Lewis misses on the jumper. We're going to end up accidentally watching the entire first quarter here, so we might have to sim the entire second. Not that I'm forced to only watch half of these games. It's just to get this series over in a reasonable amount of time. That's kind of the rule set I've made. Kyra Lewis here. This is out to Kuminga. Now to Ralph Terry. He hasn't been all that good for Golden State in this series. Find myself having to trade the players about to be free agents. Yeah, you definitely... that becomes a lot more of a factor. But there are some guys who, for their second contract, will ask for a little bit, but by the time they ask for their third, they aren't asking for that much. So if you can find a way to pay them for a couple years of that higher number, you'll end up getting them at a valuable, number down the line. I was hoping that was going to be the case for Max Christie, but he just kept getting a little bit better and better. I thought he was going to max out at about like 80, 81, but he's now kind of getting into those mid-80s to the point where I don't think we can pay him past this contract. And he signed a 2-year deal last offseason. So he's probably somebody that either in the offseason or at the trade deadline ends up being somebody that we move next year. Unless we feel like we can't win a championship without him. Which, again, I think kind of goes back to how much do we believe in the development of Thiago Saramago, Ayrton's twin brother. Because if we believe that we can get something out of him next year, then you move Max Christie. If you don't, then you probably got to keep Max Christie, because you never want to lose a year of contending for a championship with Ayrton Saramago. You have pressure every single year to be a championship contender / championship favorite when you have a player of that caliber on your team. 15-point lead after the first quarter. That's more what I'm talking about. That's what I like to see here. But Golden State is trimming that lead a little bit here in the second. Not too much, though. We're kind of keeping pace with them. And we will head into the half, 71-54. We ended up going on a bit of a run there at the end of the second quarter, scoring 70 points in the first half. Our offense playing up to his potential for sure here in this game. Tommy Williams, back to doing Tommy Williams things, 13 points in the half for them. Kyra Lewis in double figures. That's a little bit surprising. After the 30 bomb by Kuminga, he's 0 of 4 at the half the very next game. Rudolph Garrett. Okay, Rudolph Garrett. And Michael Graham, our 2 second-year players, are both balling right now. 17 points on 7 of 9 shooting. And Michael Graham a double-double on 4 of 5 shooting. I'll go 13-4 and 3 on 4 of 9. Probably his quietest game yet. And then Max Christie having his best game of the playoffs so far as well. 4 of 4. Ellis struggling a little bit from beyond the arc. McKnight, 6 points on 5 shots. Better than he's been at times this postseason. But we have a 17-point lead. Garrett Hurd, yeah, he took well to the pressure. We said that if he didn't start performing, we were going to reduce his role. And he said, all right, bet. I like a player that can respond to some pressure. McKnight finds Garrett. Now out to Mago. He attacks downhill and draws himself a pair of free throws. Somebody doesn't have anybody close to Mago. It's hard to get somebody close to Mago. I mean, he had I forget the name of his guy right now, but the guy on the Neptunes that he had last year was Mac Boyd. That guy was insane. It's fun to have a player like that some years, but you don't want a player as good as Mago every year because the rebuild becomes pretty simplified when you have a player the caliber of Mago. It's always fun to be able to watch a player of that caliber play, but sometimes you like the challenge of having to rebuild around a team that's maybe doesn't have one of the 5 best players in basketball. Like, how different would this rebuild be if Albert Ellis was our best player? Be pretty different, and it wouldn't be any less fun, but I think it would make it a lot more challenging. If Saramago had just got #1 overall in his class, how different this series would have been, huh? You've only watched his Aztecs? I actually haven't watched a ton of his Aztecs, and I've already talked about why. I don't need to rehash it. Nice up and under from Ayrton Saramago. Let's go. You don't see him pull that out very often. So that's why I'm hoping, like, obviously if I draft a super sick player again next year in 2K, I'm not going to complain about it at all, but I almost kind of hope that I don't get an Ayrton Saramago-like player next year. Just because, again, it just kind of makes things a little more different. And tipped away. Nearly stolen by McKnight, but ends up in the hands of Podziemski instead, who drives to the rim, but McKnight did enough to bother the shot. 18-point lead for the Vancouver Blizzard. Ellis has it. Swings it over to McKnight. Gets a couple of screens, finds a wide open man in the corner. Saramago can't hit. Williams. Defended by Easy A. Trying to sauce him up. Gets inside, but he's taken the entire shot clock to do so. And then he just hangs out Jonathan Kuminga to dry there. I'd be so annoyed at that position if I was Kuminga. I mean, your point guard holds the ball for 22 seconds, comes up with nothing, and then just passes you the ball at the last second, asking you to bail him out. 20 points here. I mean, this is looking like a pretty easy sweep, but let's not forget game 1. We led by 22 points at the start of the 4th quarter of that game. And Golden State came all the way back and took the lead. So we cannot get comfortable here. Pods spinning. Oh my. Plus, Stumpy is using community draft classes, and most realistic ones I've tried don't have anyone near as good or versatile as Saramago. Yeah, I mean, I should probably check back into a series. Ironically, the reason I haven't been watching the Aztecs too much is because I thought the draft classes looked too strong when he started using the custom draft classes. And maybe they're just too strong in the fact that I think most of those rookies are too good off the bat, but maybe they don't have as high as potential. But the thing about my guys, everyone's 2K generated. The only thing I do to customize my draft class is I put a couple extra 2K generated players in them. Which is why I don't use community draft classes, because I feel like 2K actually does a pretty good job of generating really interesting prospects. They just need a little bit of help in adding a couple more players of depth in a class. But again, everybody's opinion on it's different. A lot of people like using like the real players, like the Cooper Flag and Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper. Christie for 3, no good. Williams in the post, spinning on Clayton Rodman and getting to the line. Attacking our weakest defender, probably a pretty good move here. Man, I wish I could change the player's free throw animation in the middle of a game. I absolutely would. Rudolph Garrett. Garrett driving and gets it stolen away. I use custom classes because generated players look kind of awkward at times. Yeah, I mean, I customize their looks, especially when I go to get any player that I get clips on. If they look too generated and kind of funky, then I'll update their looks. Like, there's certainly flaws to the 2K generated players. I'm not saying they're perfect. I just think they're good enough. And that if you, like, update their gear and sometimes their faces, that they're really good. And I think I talked about this last stream, but I can't remember if I did. I think it's so incredibly difficult to find the right balance with a custom class. Like, either you try too hard to make them not overpowered to the point where they're not interesting, or even if you're trying to not make them overpowered, you just can't help it. Like, when you're creating a custom player and you're trying to create somebody that looks good, that's good, you just ultimately almost every time can't help but go a little bit overboard and end up with players that are too good. The one thing, I think Stumpy kind of nerfed player progression in his series, which I think I probably should have done a little bit in this series. I think that probably would have made things a little bit better. Some of their hairstyles are from the 60s and 70s. I also think some of the faces that they generate are all often like really, like, for example, Tommy Williams from this Golden State Warriors team. Like, that's just so obviously a 2K generated player. He looks awful. But they also have other, like, pretty good realistic looking faces. Like Ayrton Saramago, you could convince me that Ayrton Saramago was a real player. Like, pretty easily based on his face scan. You know, quote unquote face scan. I was doing air quotes with my fingers, but I don't have my face cam on. Yeah, trying to find a way that nerfs player progression a little bit for next series is something I'll play around with. Because I feel like even last year, not everybody always reached their potential, but it feels like everybody always reached their potential in this game. You did the right thing by not nerfing player progression. Stumpy's first custom class would have been way too OP. See, that's why I only saw, that's when I stopped watching. I was like, this first custom class is insane. He had like 10 players in it that were all like 78 overall or higher and stuff, and they all had like Hall of Fame potential or all NBA potential, and they had like silver and gold badges. I was like, what the heck? This is a crazy class. But yeah, but then he did have the nerf player progression, which helps. I could probably fine tune it a little bit. I think the league's a little bit too good right now. If I had to, like, once this game's over, I mean, Golden State, by the way, has trimmed this down to 11. While I've been sitting here talking about draft classes. I think the team's a little, we could like go over player overalls. I think there's a few too many 90 plus overall players right now. Missed by Kuminga. And like one of the problems with 2K is that there's like players that are way too good that are left at the last day of free agency once you get a few years into a franchise. But part of the reason it is that way is because there's too many 90 overall players, so you can't pay everybody if your league's too good. So I'll have to toy around with it before the next game comes out. Ultimately, I don't think it's really detracted from this series at all. I think it's still been a heck of a ton of fun. But it would be better just for league balance and team building if I think it was a little bit harder to get a 90 overall caliber player. Jeez, Saramago, that was sweet. All right, I think we can head into the Simcast now. We'll see if they keep things interesting here in the fourth. 13-point game. If they trim that down at all. I think, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to end up with just a sweep here. I don't think there's really any... Oh! I was trying to hop in for the final seconds so we could see the celebration, but I was a little too quick on the trigger. 19 points, 19 points, 18 points. So pretty well-rounded performance by these guards. The guards carried the Warriors today, but it just was not enough. Another 40-point game for Ayrton Saramago. Also had 10 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 blocks. McKnight, hey, he actually got going. I don't know if this is often in Simcast or if I just wasn't noticing. But Rudolph Garrett ended up not scoring any points in the second half. But he did enough in the first half to make me happy with his performance. Did Albert Ellis score at all in the second half either? I don't know. 11 points I think was his lowest points of round one. In my head, canon is just the natural progression of talent in the NBA. Yeah, definitely like today's NBA is more talented than it ever has been. And so, yeah, basketball does seem to be getting better and better as time goes on. But, this one ended up going to 7, the Clippers. So we'll be facing Alan Larson here. I'm going to bring my face cam back in for this part just because I want to. Now that the gameplay is over. Alan Larson and the Clippers will be our round 2 opponent here, and then Sacramento and Phoenix. I feel like Sacramento, this half of the bracket, all 4 of these teams were really good. And the Clippers, I did feel like would probably come out victorious on this part of the bracket. So we'll be facing, so Cam Christie's, he'll probably be healthy by the time we really get started, or at least by game 2. We've got Rob Dillingham, Alan Larson, Cam Christie, Alexander Temple, Dariq Whitehead, Kobe White. So this is a pretty solid team. I don't think this will be any sort of walk in the park. They've got a couple of 90 overalls. They've got a solid assortment of wings. They got some guys that are going to be coming off the bench that are pretty good. That's not an easy out. I still think we obviously have the advantage, but that's not an easy out. And then in the East. Wow, this one ended up going to 7. Everything else was a sweep. Atlanta moved on. I know people are rooting for Atlanta out in the East. Chicago moved on. Detroit moved on. And Toronto moved on. That's so weird, dude. These being the 4 is so weird to me. Yeah, Cam did turn out better than Max. Says, yeah, that's I didn't even notice that initially. It's gonna be the Christies. If Rudolph Garrett had another terrible game, we might have even put Max Christian in the starting lineup just so they could face off against each other directly. But I think Rudolph Garrett was really good in game 4 and earned himself not to reduce his role at all. It's going to be fun. Well, let me just show you what I'm talking about right now. Look at how many. So I don't know how many are in the base roster, to be honest, off the top of my head. But right now there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players at 95 plus overall. And then so 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37. So 36. And then with morale, 38. 90 overalls. That feels like too much. And then obviously like 89 is just barely under. Oh, and then Jason Tatum's injured right now, so they actually add one more to that. And then look, at like 88 overall, there's like another 20 players. So like every team right now has on average at least 2 players that are 88 overall or higher. That seems pretty crazy. Y'all wanted to see Chicago. Their highest overall is 85. They're just really deep. I wish 2K would balance a little bit more. Like, they overvalue depth and they undervalue top end talent in 2K. That's why the Celtics never are as good as they should be in 2K, because the Celtics obviously have their insane starting 5, but then their bench isn't very good, at least in 2K. And so they never sim well. That's something that I wish 2K would fix in how they sim. Yeah, they're the number 1 seed because like 2K just loves a deep bench, and they have when Rudolph Garrett's healthy, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, their entire rotation is over 80 overall. So it's just how 2K sims. It's really weird. When in reality, obviously basketball revolves around the stars, right? It's all about the star players and the superstars. Who your 7th man isn't as important in real life as it is in 2K. But there you have it. I think round 2 will be pretty fun. Alan Larson. Let's just go ahead and take another look here at Alan Larson. Up to a 92 overall. I mean, 7'4". There was his 39-point game that somebody was talking about, that Johnny was talking about. He had back-to-back 30-pointers to start the first round. He hasn't scored 20, though, in 3 straight games. He'll be tough to guard for sure, though, at 7'4". Dillingham, I'm hoping Albert Ellis can score pretty well on Rob Dillingham. Dillingham missed part of round 1, but he's back and healthy. Anyway, the Clippers should be fun. I'm unsure whether or not this will be streamed or if I'll do it in episode format. If you want it soon, it'll have to be via stream, but if we'll see, because it might end up being a longer series, and so either way, it'll either have to be multiple streams or multiple episodes probably. But that's all I've got here for this live stream. Round 1, sweeping the Golden State Warriors. Got a little frustrated there in the middle games when I felt like we weren't playing as well as we should. But in the end, we swept them. And that's all that really matters. And we'll be there to take on the Clippers, who are just coming off a 7-game series. They might be a little tired as well. And we are well rested, so that might play a factor as well. That's all I've got for you. Thanks for everybody who hopped in, watched the live stream, participated in chat. For those of you who dropped a like, if you haven't yet, I would really appreciate if you could drop a like here on the stream if you enjoyed that round 1 matchup. We'll be back soon with more playoff action. And I'll see you then. Bring the blizzard.